Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anita, and for those of you that are new here, I'm a real estate investor and a medic here in the UK. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that's very close to my heart and I'm very passionate about, which is the empowerment of women. It's currently one of the most talked about topics and is very relevant and a very important issue to take into account and to be aware of. I personally did not grow up in the most supportive household for women, and it was quite clear from a young age that I was treated quite differently from my brother, and also that the expectations from me and for him were quite different with regards to both career and life. And I was made to believe that this was the normal way women were meant to be treated, and I didn't think too much of it then. However, as I grew up and broadened my awareness, opened my mind, and got to see several examples of very successful women, I began to question the way I was brought up, and I embarked on my own journey of self-education. It's taken me years to find my voice, but now here we are. One thing that I believe is essential to the empowerment of women is focusing not just on women, but focusing on society as a whole and shifting the way that we as a society, both men and women, think, act, and behave towards this issue. So there's no single definition to what women empowerment is because it is very multifaceted. However, one way of answering this is that it is us as a society together raising the status of women and girls to ensure that they have rights to high quality education, the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech, and non-discriminatory treatment both at home and at work. Another factor that's important for women empowerment is raising awareness of the issues women currently face and also enlightening people on how they can take action in order to combat these issues. What women empowerment in an ideal world would look like is women having the ability to make their own decisions about their future with the support of both women and men alike in the society that they live in. This would allow us to redefine gender roles and break past previously set boundaries. Biology of all things should not determine whether a girl gets to go to school, have a high quality education, or be able to get that top job. Her actions instead of her biology should be determining all that. And leveling that play field for girls and women alike only comes when we as a society as a whole embrace this idea and this concept. Women empowerment is essentially giving women the torch back to control their own future and their own destiny. The torch here being two things. One is instilling an empowered belief in women and girls on what they're capable of achieving, and second, society saying that we support you. Given women are 50% of our population, we are missing out on 50% of human productivity, human capability, and human potential by leaving women in the dark. None of us would be here without women. Most of us are raised by our mothers, and an empowered mother creates empowered children who then go on to empower society as a whole. Many scholars and world leaders have argued repeatedly that the development of society as a whole would be near impossible without gender equality and women empowerment. Hence why, as we can see, it's a very big issue and very important one. So what are the problems women are facing in the developing world? And how do these differ from the problems women face in the developed world? In the developing world, the biggest problems women face at the moment are lack of education for girls, lack of formal training for jobs, and lack of access to the same jobs and the same freedoms that men have. And in some countries, basic lack of sanitation facilities forces some girls to have to leave school and even stop working. And in addition to all that, women are still raised with belief systems that are self-limiting, which limits their thinking and their belief in themselves and what they're capable of achieving. Women are told to behave a certain way, act a certain way, speak a certain way, dress a certain way, and often when they don't conform, they're looked down upon and even punished. And what's actually been seen in households where women are actually given the opportunity to work and have access to good education is that once they start working and have their own source of income, their status in their household increases, the status in the community increases, and their sense of self-respect increases, and all of this together gives them a bargaining power that they previously would not have had. Not only does this give women the freedom to better look after themselves, it also gives them the opportunity to better look after their families, instills in them a sense of independence, and also contributes financially to the economy. Now in the developed world, we see the next stage of this problem. Majority of women now have access to education, often to a high quality, so they have access to schools, to universities, and to the same jobs that many men have access to. So to some degree, we may have sorted out the access to education and freedom of choice and freedom of speech for women in developed countries. However, we still see gender stereotype roles and expectations, unequal pay for the same job, workplace discrimination for promotions, inflexible maternity leave, or discrimination against women who take maternity leave, and also non-existent paternity leave in many large prominent companies, which if provided would actually go a long way to help new mothers and help them feel more supported. Also, the role media plays is huge in societal norms towards women, and media even till today still propagates very sexist norms and over-sexualizes women, Hollywood being a prime example of this. We would see a society where every girl is given the same opportunities to high quality education, same access to high quality jobs, and also we would see girls from a young age instilled with the belief system that she is no less than any boy or any man. This would ideally be a society where women have access to the same freedoms and opportunities that men have, and where women are in control of all aspects of their life. So while that sounds great, how do we actually get there? So the vast majority of barriers that women face today are actually due to cultural norms. Most women are aware of the issues of discrimination that they face. However, many of them have given up trying to change it and have grown accustomed to it instead. To change this would involve three things: empowering women economically, politically, and culturally. Economically, education and work opportunities are key, and we can all play a role in this, where we keep campaigning and educating society both here and abroad on the importance of education and empowerment for women. Ideally, we need to re-educate society on certain gender norms and gender stereotypes that exist in order to give women the same rights financially and socially that many men have the privilege of. It might even be shocking for many of us to know that in many developing countries, women don't even have access to their own land simply because of their gender. And it's policies like these that we must work to change in order to empower women. If given the same educational opportunities as men, women can strive for the same jobs once only reserved for men. And if we give women access to these same jobs, we can empower them to take control of their own finances and elevate their status in society. And most importantly, make them less susceptible to exploitation. An empowered woman is able to look after her own health, wealth, and importantly, contribute to society socially and economically. So what actions can we actually take in order to give women access to these jobs that could help them? For example, in the workplace, we could offer formal training to underprivileged women who maybe don't have the same educational qualifications as men in order to allow them to enter the workplace. Additionally, we can offer better sanitation facilities to girls so that they don't have to quit school just because they've gotten their period. Importantly, we must also encourage equal participation from women and men in school settings and workplace settings. Creating a culture of gender equality increases women's job satisfaction and performance, and these factors together contribute to the empowerment of women. Importantly, because today in the developed world, women are still passed over for promotions, instilling a culture of merit rather than gender is critical. Further, because one of the main reasons women quit working is to start a new family, so offering new mothers the support they need to get back to work whenever they're ready is crucial. Women shouldn't have to give up their career just because they've had a child. So enabling better parental leave structures, support from their employers, and changing the way society as a whole views and treats women who do take maternity leave and then return to work is essential. One other big issue is sexual harassment in the workplace. So we must make sure we have stricter rules and stricter protocols in place at all workplaces to address sexual harassment, as women are still the majority affected by this problem. Further, within the hierarchy of companies, there should be an even mix of both men and women making the final decision. We must re-examine how opportunities are structured by gender, race, class, and culture in both the developed world and the developing world. And we must change this if we are to make a difference. Another change we could make is having an even balance or an even selection of men and women. Many universities and workplaces are already incorporating this, which is great. Politically as well, both in the developed world and the developing world, it's important that we ensure women have equal rights to vote, equal seats in government roles to make decisions, and also better policies for divorce, welfare, and property rights. So while we have come far, we still have a long way to go. Importantly, it's important to remember that empowering women is not just women supporting women. Although that's essential, it is coming together as a community as a whole to lift women up in order to better our households, our community, our society, country, and the world as a whole. Now, there are several organizations working towards this. One of the biggest ones is the United Nations. In their Sustainable Development Goals, goal number 4 is equal access to education for all, and goal number 5 is empowering women and girls to achieve gender equality through equal access to various types of opportunities, and these include healthcare, education, work, etc. I've also included here the other agencies that are relevant both internationally and here in the UK that help to empower women and make this their primary focus on a daily basis. So that's all for today's video, guys. As you can see, it's a huge issue, very important and highly relevant today and always will be. Empowering women not only helps you personally, but it helps society as a whole. Hence why it's very important we tackle this and address it and be aware of it. That's all I have to say for today, guys. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thank you so much for watching and your constant support, and I will see you all in my next video.